Hey there, welcome back. And today we are going to talk about urges. Now, I know you know what urges are. It is that feeling you get when you have to eat that. It's that impulsive feeling that you think is uncontrollable, but you really are controlling your urges. And it's that feeling of you see the pizza, you see the food, and you're like, I need that. And then your brain goes into, I need that, I need that, I need that. Usually, this is the type of feelings that causes binges or overeating because it's very impulsive and people, like I said, think that they can't control them. But the truth is, it's really your thinking that is causing the urge to happen. Now, I do want you to think of an urge kind of like a toddler where you in your mind when it's unmanaged, it's going to be having a lot of chatter. Same thing with a toddler when it wants something, it's just going to scream and like I want that, I want that, and until it gets it, it's going to have a fit, and that's exactly what your brain is doing when it's having an urge. So, let me show you this in the model because you know I'm all about the thought work. So, currently this is what's happening is you see the food and you think the thought I want that, and that thought I want that causes desire, and so you have an urge, you have the desire, and you eat it. And every single time that you give in to an urge, what you're doing is you're reinforcing your brain patterns and you're reinforcing the neural pathways. So you're continuing to get this same cycle that you're living in and of the urges. Now, the thing with urges in learning how to process them and then change them is that it's also brain wiring that you need to think of. Your brain is used to you saying, I want that, and then you reward yourself. So the process of unconditioning your brain goes, you see the food, you have the thought, I want that. It causes you to have desire. And then you intersect at this desire. You don't eat it. And then what's going to happen is that you're going to break that pattern and you're going to redo the neural pathways in your brain. So this is the answer how to lessen the urges. But I want to talk about also how to process emotions and process urges. It's really important. So the very first step is awareness. You need to be aware that you're having these urges and that it's very real in your body. Like with the feelings, I want you to get very understanding of where it is in your body. Also, with urges, you need to be very compassionate with yourself and know that it's your mind, it's the drama in your mind. It's not necessarily you, it's a conditioned response. And so part of this is deconditioning it. Now, the second part is the allowing. Allow that urge to come. I talked about that on the feelings video. If you haven't watched the feelings video, go back and watch that. I spent a lot of time about how to process emotions. But basically, you want it to feel it in your body. You want to question, where do I feel it? And then you just want to sit with it. Now, the thing with urge is that I promise they will go away when you're willing to sit with it. You're going to be like, oh, that's it? That's all the urge was? And eventually it fades. Now, the third step is to replace that thought and that feeling with an intentional one. So my whole thing is I will generally go back to my compelling reason. When I was still in the thick of rewiring my brain and having the urges, when it was very difficult and after allowing the urge and it was still feeling not very natural, then I would go into the thought work of thinking about my compelling reasons. So the thing that's very important to know about urges is that your ability to learn how to allow a urge is going to be your ability to lose weight. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable. You have to be willing to sit with the urge. And the most important thing that you need to know is that it is not going to kill you, these urges. It's just simply a vibration in our body, and over time they will fade. And that's the whole process with the urges, is to allow them to come in, sit with them, do not answer them. You need to go through enough unanswered urges where your brain rewires itself. So next time you get in that thinking of I want that, I need that, and it comes to a food and it's very impulsive, remember these steps. First, awareness. Have compassion. Allow the urge. Sit with it, and then choose some new and intentional thoughts. And remember, you're rewiring your brain. So if you allow 100 unanswered urges where you don't give into it, I promise you after 100 unanswered urges, it's going to be no big deal.